Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. First, the headlines. President Bola Tinubu approves establishment of climate accountability and transparency portal for Nigerians. Vice President Kashim Shettima appeals for more cooperation between Nigeria and Tanzania in shared aspirations for continental growth and unity. Minister of Housing and Urban Development inaugurates Housing Data Committee for Housing Delivery in Nigeria. Director General of NTA calls for enhanced human capacity building in digital world. All right, we will now join the network service of the NTA for a live broadcast. Happy viewing.
Confirmed himself and 36 others. On August 21, 2023, President Bola Tinubu sworn in all the ministers. Now, today makes it exactly 1 year ago that event took place. Time enough to demand for the report card and of course scrutinize it, and that's exactly what we'll be doing today. I'm not alone here. My name is Benga Aruleba. I work with Africa Independent Television. My colleagues, the regular colleagues on the ministerial chart are here, and of course we have two new faces who are joining us today. You get to meet all of them now. And from my immediate right here, Ayo
Julie Ozugwa from TVC News. Amadine Uyi, News Central Television.
All right, let's cross to the other side of the aisle. Yeah, the new face too.
My name is Chijoke Okafor, Advocate Broadcasting Network, ADBN. Olufisa Ogunfui, Nigerian Television Authority.
Chamberlain Research Channel TV.
All right, and maybe together we say, good to see the minister again after such a long time, such a long layoff. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's exactly 1 year ago today that you were sworn in as a minister, deployed to the FCT, and you became the 17th minister to take charge of the Federal Capital Territory. And I remember that day when you drove there, that first meeting with the workers and the media, you laid out an elaborate plan to transform the FCT. 1 year down the lane, how has the journey been?
Well, Benga, thank you very much. I would liken this to be like a birthday, for example. You know, when God gives you life, you add a year, you thank God for that. It's like disappointment that by the grace of God, we were able to stay for 1 year. It is not because we are more important or we are more intelligent, but as it pleases God and by using His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic, to give us this opportunity. So we must thank God for everything. I think one must say that so far we are very, very happy. Very happy in the sense that we have heard from the news, we have been told that they can feel the impact of our government as far as the FCT is concerned. The experience is quite very interesting. Interesting, not that it's always all that good. Challenges are there, natural. But it's a good experience that being a governor of a state and now being a minister in the Federal Capital Territory, two different things. Two. Here you are talking about Nigeria. In the state you are talking about, yes, that does not mean that there are no outsiders who are living in the state. But here is Nigeria you are talking about. Here you're talking about diplomatic communities. Here you're talking about who is who in Nigeria. And so the pattern of administration or governance will always be different. And so I feel so elated that when I came on board, you know, there was this agitation, seen and unseen. Oh, it's not from a particular part of the country. And therefore, everything was done to make sure that it was not easy for us, to make sure that all the cries, according to them, being justified. But I thank Mr. President for having the confidence in us and believing in us that we will not disappoint him and will not disappoint Nigerians. Today, one can beat his chest to say that we're happy with what we have done. Residents of Abuja are happy with what we have done. I'm sure even you who are here, if you sit on your own, you will say, look, we're happy with what we have seen as far as FCT is concerned. Our ambition is to make FCT be a livable city where people can feel comfortable, where we can say, yes, we have been traveling around the world. We have seen how cities are planned. We have seen infrastructure in cities. That is our own ambition, to turn FCT to one of the best cities in the world, not only because of infrastructure, but also in terms of environment, also in terms of security, that, look, we're happy. And if you look at when we came, what was the state of FCT? Where were we? And then where are we today? As at the time we came, you can attest to the fact that nothing was virtually working in FCT. FCT was just like, oh, yes, in the capital territory, so what? Infrastructure was not everything. Contractors have left every site. So it was like, come on, what are we seeing? Insecurity was the order of the day. The sanitation was very poor. Everywhere was dark. So it was a big challenge. And like I've said, when you have a support of the appointee who believes in you and gives you all the necessary support that you require, and you are also committed to achieving the results, you will see that things will come out clear. And that's what we have seen today. Where do I start from? Where do I start from? FCT was where staff could not achieve their ambition, where their growth was stagnated, and nobody could take the bull by the horn to say, look, how do we make sure that people who are working are happy with the system? Their growth is not stunted. And that's why I would say leadership in everything you do is key. So many people were running away from this aspect. This person, the former other president was saying, you know, we should not do this, we should not implement it. But it took the leadership of the president to say, listen, I had said my government is renewed hope agenda. If my government is renewed hope agenda, then why would I not bring back that hope that is lost? Why would I not bring back that hope that the workers here will feel that, yes, I've lost hope, we have lost hope, we can't grow. And the first thing he did, I'm here for you, was to implement that FCT should be autonomous by having its own permanent secretaries, who was hitherto never allowed, by having their own head of service, by establishing their own civil service commission. The day the president made that approval, you can see the happiness of workers. Can this be true? Is it possible? Yes. That is the essence of Renew Hope agenda. Now today, in this FCT, we have not less than 12, 13 permanent secretaries. Before now, we only have one permanent secretary who been posted from the Federal Civil Commission, not even staff of the FCT. But that is no longer the case. Today, you have a head of service of FCT. Today, you have Civil Service Commission that is in charge of training, discipline of workers, promotion of workers. Now, what it means, take for example, two have retired and another to have been appointed. So you can see, people are not, oh, I'm a director. There's hope. I'll one day be permanent secretary. Not only that, there also be hope. I may be the head of service. Because the current head of service now is retiring in the next 1 month. So somebody will occupy that position, which was not there before. So you can imagine the happiness in workers. Now, Mr. President Senuk, yes, we have had mandate secretary, but there are key areas our administration, in the Hope agenda, has always anchored on inclusivity of governance. Women are very important. Youth are very important. How do you have secretariats without talking about women? Those who take care of women, without talking about youth. And Mr. President is wisdom. So listen, we cannot talk about government, we cannot talk about inclusivity without having these separate secretaries. So he approved the establishment of the Women's Secretariat. That's why we now have mandate secretary for women. And the clamor for the youth. You remember, when I was going around interacting with stakeholders, one of the things that they asked for, allow us to have the youth secretary, appoint a mandate secretary that will be overseeing the affairs of the youth.
What would they be doing specifically?
Of course, we're talking about how do you bring in the youth? How do you make sure the youth are involved in what's going on in government? How do you make the youth to empower them, right? In fact, one of the assignments I get to the mandate secretary, listen, it is not merely shouting outside. Now you are the mandate secretary of the youth. You've asked for this youth secretariat. You must have to go and sit down now and bring a blueprint. How do we involve the youth and how do we create them to be part of the government? In terms of job, in terms of empowerment.
Has it done that?
You were just sworn in. So, but the point I'm saying is, it is easy to stay outside and criticize. Now you have been given the opportunity. You have to show that really with the youth, we are really interested to make sure that we're involved in governance, we're involved in the development of the youth. You must bring a blueprint so that government will now know this is what we're going to do for the youth.
I know that they'll do their job and submit to you, but I'm just trying to find out, what is your mindset? What would you like to see? Is it create jobs, create an environment for jobs, or what? For the young people particularly.
Now, let it not be. I'm trying to take away the job of the mandate secretary. When we are talking about the youth, of course, you have to talk about the creation of a job for them. You have to talk about how the empowerment. These are things you must have to. Not just creating a youth secretariat. No. You have to talk about job here, which is important. In fact, if you ask me, I'm trying to submit to Mr. President a supplementary budget, because before now, the youth secretariat was not there. Now that it's been established, so there must be fund for them. I have in mind what we call Youth Development Fund, but let me not.
Let me take you to one other area.
You are talking about youth. You are talking about youth. What about the clamor for inclusion in governance? That was one of the things you promised. To carry youth up.
First of all, you have a youth mandate secretary there involved. The general council is a youth. The mandate secretary for area council is a youth. So they're involved in government. But again, establishing a secretary like this for them tells you they have to play a lot of roles in government. But like I said, that is the job for the mandate secretary, to bring his blueprint and how government will really have positive impact.
What about the mandate secretary for women affairs, who have been there longer than this one? Have we seen?
Yes.
Have we seen any
blueprints?
Yeah. Yes.
Any visible changes?
No, but
appointment of.
Remember that they have not even stayed up to a year. The mandate secretary for women.
Yeah.
We had other mandate secretary before the approval for the establishment of the women secretariat. She came in, if I'm right, around January, February this year. Yeah. Mind you, we had done the supplementary budget of 2023 before the establishment. Now what we now did was to include them in the 2024 budget, which she has submitted what she intends to do as far as women are concerned. And we're in the process of procurement to making sure that all those things she wants for women and for women to be affected are all there.
So we've talked about, human development, this aspect of an inclusion, just like you have spoken about. In terms of, looking at your intervention scientifically, you've seen infrastructure development in different aspects, the rail, the roads, and all that.
Yes.
But you and your colleagues signed performance bonds with the president last year.
Yes.
In terms of the timelines, what is the report at the moment?
Well, I think that should be, if you ask, I'm not the examiner. That will be the office of the SM to the president to say, look, in terms of deliverable and the timeline, that this minister or ministry, but if you ask me, as a student who wrote the exams, I would say that yes, we've done creditably well.
Adding to that, I would say, have you met your goals?
That's the point I'm trying to do. That's the point I'm trying to do. You cannot
There are
get
areas where you can actually
100%.
measure.
But in terms of, okay, we've just been able to talk about human capital development and the rest of what we've been able to do. In fact, just because you asked, which I would have also told you, one of the things Mr. President did that has aided our work today, and that is pulling us from the TSA. If that was not there, it would be difficult in terms of provision.
That's your instance.
Of course.
Okay, you identified this as
yes,
a big problem.
I felt that looking at the whole scenario, and it was hampering effective provision of infrastructure and the rest of it. Every fund was the central bank, right? Was the central bank. And if that is the case, you are not going to participate in the wider financial market. You have no business with commercial banks. So it is only when funds come from either the national budget or your IGR, which is paid to central bank, that you can embark on any project. So I now say, look, Mr. President, you see governance as business. You don't want your business to fail. So don't want governance to fail. You don't want to give excuses. One of the best things I think you can do is allow the FCT to pull out, to participate in the wider financial market, where we can ask Bank A, we need this money to be able to execute our projects. And Bank A is okay. How do we get our money back? It's okay. Yes, you can get our money back. Let our IGR be paid into our account with you. And then you now deduct monthly in order to be a sort of paying back. What's the advantage of that? The advantage of that is that you are no longer waiting that every month is what I get from IGR. Take for example, if you get 20, maybe 200 billion, right? And bank are like, look, we'll be taking like 6 billion or 5 billion monthly, as the case may be. Now you have 200 billion spending on infrastructure. You still have leftover from the IGR, which you can use to run daily activities. So the contractors they are aware that there is fund for them. So everybody want to work.
No, Your Excellency, many would recall that when you came into office, you hit the ground running as soon as you assumed office. And in terms of the infrastructural development in the FCT, a lot of transformation has happened in the last 1 year. However, other people share different thoughts with regards to your attention to other sectors like agriculture, education, transportation, and security, which has been an age-long issue in the FCT. What plans do you have for these other sectors that you just mentioned?
People are not being fair to government. You talk about transportation. You were here when the president flagged off the operation of our light, the rail, which was comatose. Today, daily, passengers will have not less than 4,000 that use that rail. And the reason of Mr. President, he gave out for 6 months free ride, which will expire by the end of this year. We have been able to flag off 2 bus terminals. The third one will be 26th of this month, which will be at the central business area at the back of the Able Square. That is to improve our transport system. We will talk about education. They forgot that I flagged up total rehabilitation of over 21 schools as we came. As I speak to you, I sent a letter to the Bureau of Public Procurement as of yesterday to allow us emergency rehabilitation of not less than 30 schools. Because if you allow to go to the procurement process, that takes another 3-4 months, and the year is ended. I just spoke with the DG this morning, and he said, look, I should be assured that they are going to give attention to it. That is in terms of education. Not only that, for the first time, where teachers are saying they have never had any training since in this FCT. But for me, education is not only providing infrastructure. Part lot of quality education to making sure that the teachers are well trained to be able to impact positively on our children. These things, you may not see them. What you see is because people use the roads every day. I'm coming to security, and the rest officer, you will know what we have done. It's not just saying, what have we done? No. Most of these schools, too, are in the rural areas. We have not only concentrated in schools in the city. Ordinarily, it is not our duty to go and begin to talk about primary schools. It's the function of the area councils. But we cannot say because the area councils are not able to carry out this, therefore, we shut our eyes. No, we are not allowing that. Look at the area of security. What was FCT as at the time we came? You were talking about kidnapping here and there. When we came, we said, look, we are going to tackle it head on. Security agencies were lacking what they require in terms of fighting crime. No vehicles. They are not, encouraged in terms of logistics. But as we came, I made sure that all these things were provided for them to be able to fight crime. You attest to the fact today that yes, people can now sleep with their eyes closed in FCT. That does not mean from time to time you will not be able to say, oh, this crime has been committed. And I want to tell anybody, as far as society is concerned, even developed societies, you will not hear that no crime was committed. No, it's not correct. But if we are very, very objective, you will know that security has improved after FCT is concerned. We are not resting on our own. We are believing that we must still work hard. The CP and other security agencies are doing very well. You know, you only hear one crime, but you will hear that they were able to stop about 50 crimes because you're not in a position. I get intelligence report, security report every day, every morning. The Commissioner of Police will send me the report. See what has happened last night, see what I've done, see what I've raided here, see the criminal, and I can tell you with all confidence that they have done well.
What about?
I'm coming. I'm talking one by one. Now I'm talking.
Okay, there are about 4.
Yes, that's what I'm talking from. Talk about average.
You have already to 2 or 3.
Yes. Luckily for us, I had a meeting with the ambassador of Italy. Today's Wednesday. That was last week Friday. Yeah. He came here and said, look, there's an opening for us to partner with Milan. And what area do we really want? I said, look, I'm not very much interested in all this memorandum of understanding. I'm not interested in only signing agreement. At the end of the day, you get nothing for it. Practically, tell me how serious are they in terms of partnering with us as far as agriculture is concerned. We have very good land for agriculture. We are ready to provide not less than 20,000 hectares of land for agriculture. And I can tell you, I was very elated as at Monday when I spoke with the governor. And we are going to Milan in the second week of September to concretize this arrangement as far as agriculture is concerned. You see, we talk about, I don't want to talk about, we have been giving out fertilizers, we have been giving out seeds to farmers. That cannot really solve the problem in terms of food security. You need proper farming. And that is why in all the rural areas today, which has not been the case, you can't find roads. I heard you talk about agriculture when there's no road. How do you convey the produce, how? So we made sure that, look, if we're really talking about agriculture, there must also be road infrastructure. That's why if you go to the 6 area councils, go and see the openings. Go and see the openings. The local farmers are happy that yes, they can go to farm. Security has improved.
What is your target for that sector so we can know what to measure and how to approach it? What are you targeting and when?
We are still talking about inner roads.
That was my question. That's where I wanted to go.
This is about food security, guys.
That is where I wanted to go to, because I know that during this administration's first year in office, you did commissioning for between 9 to 11 days,
yes.
Project upon project.
Yes.
But citizens are asking, with this energy and zeal within the city center, what are you doing for the rural and satellite communities?
That is what I've said here. I said that for the first time, it has never been the case that we have 6 area councils. As I speak to you, there's no area council that you go to now, you will not see 2-3 roads being done at the same time. Mind you, even during the commissioning, we also commissioned roads in the way, even though it did not get the attention of the presidency. We did not invite the presidency to come and commission such roads like in PARLEY. All right? By this December, by the grace of God, we are commissioning not less than 75 kilometers of road in the 6 area councils by this December. And these are roads that are being carried out by serious contractors like Setaco, like Gilmore, like that. So what is our strategy? These roads are necessary in order to encourage our local farmers to have access to their farm areas. 2, for those who want to do very large mechanized agriculture, which we are trying to partner with the Emilan. Can you do this when you don't have access road? So it's key, but there must be access roads.
Can we bring on board a little bit, because we may need to join 2 concepts in terms of agriculture and security. I remember in some of our discussions we were talking about some arrangement with the bordering states in terms of securing, especially our local areas that are, have joint borders with Kogi, for instance, Kaduna, Niger, Nasarawa, to make sure that those places are secured, especially because, of course, we have farming communities there, and we have a lot of, also roots that some of these people...
Honorable Minister, I don't want you to lose sight of the question that my colleague from ADBN asked, which is, what is the intention, what is the goal, the objective of your policy on agriculture, for instance?
Exactly.
Is this self-sufficiency in food production
so people
for
need to
local
know,
consumption,
what do they expect?
Or for export?
First of all,
to contribute to Nigeria's
first of all, you have to feed yourself first before you talk about export. The problem today is that food prices are high. It's not true.
Yeah.
Or they are not available. So our policy, first of all, provide enough food, so in order to crash down the prices, so that your people will not die of hunger. Then, subsequently, you can talk about using agriculture to raise revenue. But you can't talk about just revenue. When you are running down of a hunger, Nigeria has removed taxes on some food commodities in order to make the people to survive. So our policy first, feed ourselves, feed our people, then you talk about raising revenue.
Well, Your Excellency, what is your plan concerning the housing deficits in the FCT? That is another area that I believe a lot of people would want to hear what plans you
The agri part is not concluded.
Let's finish with you. We're lumping so many issues. Can you allow him attend to the one?
No, we'll come to that still.
Okay.
So, sir, maybe as a follow-up to what we were talking about, because, to do agriculture successfully, of course, there must be security, and those, locales, those environments are places that are a little bit porous to, some of these people coming in, like we discussed, the last time.
I have said to you, when we're talking about improvement in security, we are not talking about only just in the city. You can't talk about security only in the city. You must also talk about security in the rural areas. If security is not improved, that would hamper the policy of agriculture. So you need to improve security in the rural communities for them to be able to go to their farms and then to be able to produce. So our policies are, look, in order to encourage our farmers, you must assure them of safety. And that's why today, within the borders, like I've said, Abuja is at the center. You have, like you said, Niger State. You have Kaduna State. You have Kogi State. You have Nasarawa. That's why the security will try as much as they could during the last protest to make sure there is no infiltration from hoodlums from these areas. Is to tell you that security has really improved in most of the abundance. Like I said before, that does not mean you cannot say one crime or the other.
Minister, this part of the question on agriculture, just one more, if you will. The problem we've always had is storage, perishable goods, transporting these products so that it can be sustained. So are you looking at the larger chain? Are they going to have off-takers if they produce? All of those things.
I think that you cannot talk about just if you want to feed the people. You must have storage. It is all inclusive. You can't talk about farm only just going to produce. You must also have storage where it will be stored.
So you need more than the farmers.
Farming does not, the mistake we talk about farming is like you just going to farm to plant. It also includes in terms of production. How do I store them? They are perishable goods. So you have to provide the storage. What we call processing. All these are inclusive. So it's not only making it available for people to just go to farm. When it's about mechanized farming, it is all inclusive.
So are we seeing people show interest in that sector since this policy has been on? For instance, I listened to some of the leaders in, I think it was Kwali or so, where they said that if the necessary things are provided, particularly road and security, that they are in a position to produce enough bananas or plantain and cassava to feed the entire nation. Yeah. So I'm wondering if people are key into that already.
I have said this severally, but we are providing access roads that will make our farmers to go to their farm. Two, we also said we have improved security to assure them of that safety for them to be able to go back to farm. I have said to here severally, but I also said that having said that yes, security has improved, does not mean that you cannot hear one or two crimes being committed. I made that clear. And I said, and that is what has given confidence to a rural populace that today, that I wish you may have time to take, let us go and see what you are talking about when you talk about access routes.
Well, Your Excellency, do you think that the FCT produces enough agricultural produce to be able to not just feed the people, like you rightly mentioned, but also establish processing and manufacturing industries to boost up the manufacturing and export industry, especially in Abuja?
That question you asked, I thought you should have answered it by yourself. Why are we talking about food scarcity in the country? If we have been able to produce enough, then we will be talking about food scarcity. So, but if you say, are we making plans for FCT to be able to be self-sufficient in terms of food production? Yes. But have we been able to do that? No. I mean, have we been able to say we have produced enough that can sustain everybody in FCT. That is no.
So if we are not going to belabor this agri too much, can we just perhaps just look at this one as maybe to round it off? Are we targeting particular commodities, or is it just a general thing? Are we targeting particular commodities? We can probably
first of all we have advantage of producing so many things. We have advantage that we can produce yam. We have advantage we can produce rice. We have advantage we can produce cashew. So it will take the ones you know that you'll be able to produce to the point that yes, you will be satisfied. You cannot say you want to involve. It's part of the problem we have. Take for example, when I went to Plateau. Okay, when we were campaigning then, our PDP, then our PDP primaries. So I went to Plateau to campaign. So that was my first time of going to Plateau. So as we were landing, I said, look, this country is just a waste. Look at the weather conditions in Plateau, look at the land. So for me, I said, I will ask a question. What is the advantage? What do they have as advantage to them than any other state? Take for example, because okay, in this region, I think you have advantage of producing rice. Take for example. In this region, I think you have advantage of producing cassava, for example, because of the type of land you have. My intention is, can we have land? Because land belongs to state government, does not belong to federal government. So, Plateau, tomatoes, what do you call it, carrots or this. Yeah. If we go, yes, if we go into this, that would be good. Not just planting, also processing. If Plateau gives us, for example, 20,000 hectares of land, I believe that the federal government should be able to, okay, we are going to bring so amount of money. Sit down, form a student proposed vehicle that the state government has interest, the federal government has interest, but will not be run by the state or by the federal government, but will be given out to experts who will manage that farm. So we are producing just potato and this and that, and then we are doing processing. You go to rivers, for example, what's the advantage? Is it palm oil or is it cassava? Can we have so hectare of land? Government is going to bring the money. Government is not going to give the state the money. For government and the state can form a special purpose vehicle for the purpose of producing this in a larger and even for export. Now you find that, and that's what concerns me most. When I had before now that look, I was governor then, and then that the central bank has spent over 500-something billion. What do you call it? Anchor. And then I just asked myself, come on. So where's the food? No, are you telling me that if you put 500-something billion naira in farming today, you will not see the commodity? So the point is, you see, let us tell ourselves the truth. Even those who say they are farming, for example, is it really true that they are farming? You know, but see, leadership, and that's why in this country requires sometimes somebody who can say to hell.
You think it's not true?
I don't want to, but what I'm trying to say, what I want to say, see, it makes you mad. When a country will tell you they spent 580-something billion
to grow rice.
To grow rice. And then you can't, sometimes here, flood has taken off the whole thing. I mean, you just look at the whole thing. I don't want to, you see, these are the things that, but you see, it requires, politics is a very, very delicate.
So are they political farmers?
I don't know what you will call it, but what I'm trying to say, to be serious, so I don't divert our attention to.
You went there, so we need to know because we don't have that information.
What I'm saying that, having had when such figure was rolled out, I expect that yes, if that money is really put to farming, as it was, then we can be talking about hunger.
All right, costing 80,000.
I mean, we can be talking about that. So it is not, for me, it's not just coming to say that, look, I'm a farmer, I need money. Government should also put up a serial task force that, look, this money does not just go that way. If, I mean, if you tell me that you're going to do farming, yes, what period from what period that we expect? Take, for example, if it is rice, how long does it take? Do you understand me? Maybe it takes 2 days, for example. I will make sure that 2 days we are seeing the production of the rice. Because if not, you go in for it. And it must be, you see, people must be made to be punished. And that's why just like somebody comes here and you pay him mobilization fee, for example, to go and do job. And he comes to give you excuses. That can't happen. That can't happen with me. And that is why every company knows I can wake up from the house, tell my ugly, we are heading to so area now. Tell the director of press, everybody, we are going to so place. I don't give the contractors notice. The moment you give them notice, they prepare. That's what they do. But, yes, but when you come, you will know the reality. Yes, work is going on, work is not going on.
Away from agriculture now, let me take you to transportation. And then transportation, I spent 6 months in Abuja, and I looked at the mass transit scheme that you've always talked about. Now, private vehicles, account for like 80% of running as commercial vehicles, cabs, unpainted, unmarked vehicles, and that has led to the surge of this one chance, menace of one chance. What are you doing to ameliorate the sufferings of the people of this mass transit scheme?
I have said here, and probably it's good that people forget yours too. When you ask about, we're only concentrating in infrastructure. We are not talking about transport. Before I go to rail and then go to we're building bus terminals where all the vehicles that apply on the road, you know they are going to social terminal, they know who you are, who you are not. I said so here. By the grace of God, we can't just now go to the road and send everybody away. You have not made an alternative. You must have to provide alternative. And that alternative is to reduce this level of one, except you take the risk on your own by going on the road. A vehicle you don't know, if there stops, it's okay. So if anything happens, that is, it's not everywhere. That would be wrong to say it's everywhere. No.
Most places.
No. How many places have you been to Abuja? It is wrong for you to sit, even me as a minister. No. Let me clear this. Even me as a minister, how many places can I say, as far as even the city is concerned, that you have been to? I move around, but I cannot claim every street in the city that I know. It's not correct. So it will be wrong for you to say everywhere in Abuja. You sit one place or in your street, and then somebody tells you something. You now generalize that is the case. It is not. I'm not saying you don't have such a situation in some areas. Mind you, some of these crimes we'll talk about. If you look at the crime commission, you look at some areas, there are different type of crime that takes place in so area. No one crime you can say, like in the city, it will be difficult, like say where we are. You know, it will be difficult for armed robbers to operate here. You know that? It will be difficult. But it will be easier to operate outside. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you can't see the armed robbery to be rampant in the city. It cannot be possible.
Okay.
Now, the mass transit scheme you talked about, we know the terminals are already being built.
Yes.
And we know that Abuja population is over 3 million. How many, what is the target that your administration is looking at in terms of providing adequate transportation via the mass transit schemes when these terminals are
no government can provide. No government can provide such number of vehicles that will be adequate or enough. But you need to partner with private businessmen. No one government can try it to provide everything. It's not possible. It's not possible. That's why we're encouraging. Okay, take for example, we have both vehicles. And we know that government is not a good businessman. Those vehicles are about 90. We have been debating, what do we do? Some people say, look, why not call the unions, right? And say, look, we are willing to give out this vehicle on so-so condition. Some people have argued, no, why not take it as part of empowerment? As empowerment how? Say, some of the youths who are doing nothing, why not give them these vehicles for them to go into this work? The argument. People are looking into the pros and cons. We'll not be able to take a...
So the jury is out there on this issue?
So what?
The jury is out on this issue?
Yes.
Undecided.
Okay. No. You see, you don't rush into taking decision that way.
Yeah, because
you just have to internalize it. It's not you see, sometimes when some of you outside, you are outside, you look at it as if you must take a decision immediately. You have to look at the pros and cons before you go into it.
Okay. Let me ask you this before we hit the hour. I don't know if it's come to your notice. I mean, I know there's a new tax drive, an initiative in the FCT, but are you aware that there are some people who are doing business in the FCT and even on the streets that are being consistently harassed by, I don't know if they call them AMAC, but you see people who just always approaching cars. So people don't really know who they are for someone to visit for the first time.
You're talking about thoughts and thoughts.
Exactly. Is that the initiative? Is that the plan? What's going on?
Look. Let us tell ourselves the simple truth. I was away. A colleague of mine, a friend of mine called me. He's a senior advocate. Said, sir, people came to my office now trying to hijack all our cars. Yeah. I said, what is that? Said, they're from the Transport Secretariat. I said, what is that? I said, give the person the phone. I said, who are you? He said, what are you? He said, pack and pay. I said, what do you mean by pack and pay? Pack in my house and I pay? And do you know it was correct? So I called the Transport Secretariat, the mandate secretary. Let's come. Who introduced this pack and pay? What does it mean? Who collects the money? Now, unknown to us, there is an agreement between the secretariat and some people who say they are consultants. And then I said, consultant? Then I said, okay, consultant takes 80%. And the state government takes 20%. I said, okay, where is this money being paid? This 20% to government. But that's okay. Come on, draft a statement and call the director of press. Send out a statement that is no, the public should be aware that don't call pack and pay. So sometimes these things are done in connivance with the various secretariats. I was a governor. I know that this will happen. It happens. So you will not deny the fact that you have some people who are doing that. Yesterday, I was watching television, and then I saw where they said the sports department has given us a consultant, something like that. I said, sports department, a consultant to do what? So I called the head of service, who approved for the appointment of this consultant. I said, okay, call me the Monday secretary of the Social Development Secretariat. I said, he must be here this morning to explain to me. So these are things you have to fight within the system. And it is not easy. It's not easy. But see, you sometimes, if you don't bring it to our attention, we may not know. We can't be everywhere.
So this one now is illegal.
It's illegal. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. That's why I said, go and make an announcement to the public. It does not exist. And if that my colleague, that my friend did not call me, if it not happened to him, I would have known. I would have known.
Yeah. Honorable Minister, sorry.
Yes, but you see, the point I'm taking, no matter how you shuffle, you still have civil servants working with you. You see, it is not easy, but you try as much as you can to reduce it to the barest minimum. But to say that you won't find one of such things, then you are not being sincere. Because I know the system, so but we must continue to fight hard. Some people go on the road. Look, sometimes I disguise myself. I'll tell my agency to drive. No security, nothing. Then before you stop, you see someone coming. The one they see my face, they start running away. So you can imagine what is happening to other people. So, but like I said, it is not easy. But we are coming to the point that you can say, yes, this has been reduced to the barest minimum. But don't go home to say it will not. No. People do all kinds of things. Even those working in your office can also run such deal. That's why in revenue there are a lot of look, even in terms of land, there are a lot of things going on. But you try to stop the ones you can stop. The ones you cannot stop, what do you do? In your office, racketeering is going on. So that's what it is.
Honorable Minister, on top of the hour, we need to go on a quick break. It will be just for 3 minutes. When we come back, we still have like 15 minutes or so to still spend on FCT issues, and then we'll go a feed on general issues, politics particularly, and all of that. So, if you permit us, we should go on break now.
You are in charge.
All right, we'll go on break. We'll come back on top of the hour. We'll come back 3 minutes thereafter to continue the session with the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister NYESOM WIKE. Okay, guys. Well,